What's going on, guys? I feel like every year I just want to start the show by doom 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 doom. Wow. What's going on, boy? Sage the Mark. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to another week episode. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. And this week, decided to help my boy Ben Goosen take the night off because he worked very hard the week, so I gave the boy an extra time off, some PTO, some well-deserved PTO. But I hope he gets some good rest, take care of his business, take care of his family. We'll see him in a week or two. We'll see. So as always, guys, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Help get the word out. Help us grow. I mean, you guys are part of the family, and we want to share this experience with everybody else. You guys can reach us on Twitter at Real WrestleCast. Your boy Sage the Mark at Sage the Mark on Twitter, or Ben Goosen at Ben Goosen. Or, wherever you're listening to this, just look at the show notes there, and all of our credentials are there, including our website, IRWP.us. Another way you guys can support the show is by visiting our Patreon website. So just go to IRWP.us, hit that nice little button on the left. It's all purple and orange and looks like a camera. Oh, wait. That's Instagram. You want to use the orange one. Sorry, guys. You want to use the orange one. This has the big OP there for Patreon. So, yeah, continue to guys to support us. If you can give, that's great. If you can't, just like, subscribe, hit the iTunes. That'll help us out. So enough with my babbling. Let's get into some news of this week here. We're not going to be talking about Paige and Del Rio getting back together because that's inevitable that was going to happen. So I did want to start off by saying thoughts and prayers are going out to Chester Pennington and Bennington and his family and close friends. Got the sad news earlier today that he passed away. Unfortunate circumstances. Just want to say out there, guys, if depression is a killer. I've known people that have had depression and have something that's not a joke, and everyone's with it in its own way. But just to say, guys, if you're one of those people who are battling depression or feel like the world is caving in on you and you don't know what to do, just seek help. It's okay to seek help. The world needs you. I'm gonna say that. You might not feel like it, but the world needs you. Heck, IRWP needs you. But get help. Get professional help if you need it. You shouldn't have to struggle with that alone. There's nothing to be ashamed of. At one point in time, everyone's going to have depression, but knowing how to deal with that is the key. And if you feel like you have no one to turn to, please, please, please find some help. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to Chester Bennington and his family and close friends. So with that being said, it's wicked crazy this week. We had Kurt Angle giving us the news. The women's division on Raw is just all over the place. We got Battleground coming up this week. So let's just jump right into things, guys. In fact, before I get to that, so let me do one thing. Apologize. Come a little unprepared. Usually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to go off. So I'm probably going to need to edit that piece of it out. But let's see what we have here. Because I know there's some live people in the chat right now. The reason the application on Twitter or YouTube doesn't work as well as it should, but that's okay. We are going to find out who those people are, and then we are going to get into it. Oh, there it is. All right, so I got the live chat up. What's going on, Mel Johnson? Mel Johnson at 210 Wrestling, the CEO, the president. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. But let's get into it, guys. The first thing that's on the topic is Raw's women division is a mess. I I don't know what is going on with that division. I want to dub Alexa Bliss the mute, because as of the last couple of weeks, she has just been completely absent. Like, Rasha, don't get me wrong, but she's not cutting any promos anymore. Um, she's constantly taking L's. You know, I feel like something is going on. Feels like the belt is going to be switching hands for some reason. I don't know. I don't think it's the smart decision to take the belt off of Alexa Bliss. I feel like she is the strongest overall former wrestler that you have on the roster, on the Raw. This gives you an opportunity to start building around, but I don't know what the heck they're going to do with Bayley. I mean, it feels like they went one way, now they're going the other. Everything is just like a big old cluster when it comes to the women's division, and it needs to change, and it needs to change very quickly. I am wondering, and this is just my astute observation, I'm wondering if the reason why they're pulling back on the women's division is because they want to play out the Mae Young Classic and then somehow pipe in maybe a 1 hour women's show, sort of like how they have 205 Live, but for the women's division, and showcase them fully on there. If that's indeed the case, yeah, and Mel Johnson in the chat, was saying that Emma's been off TV, and he's absolutely right. Emma's off TV. Um, her tag team partner, which I really wish they would get back together. The Barbie Killer. Her name escapes me, but yeah, they need to give, like, it's just crazy. But anyhow, back to my point. I feel like they're pulling off on the women's division because they're going to try to launch a women's only show right after the Mae Young Classic. And I feel like, I mean, I would totally subscribe to that. Don't get me wrong, but you shouldn't hinder them on TV right now. This shouldn't be an excuse for creative to be lazy when it comes to putting on a good program for these women wrestlers. You guys need to get it together. Please get it together, because it's becoming extremely stale. So, and I don't want to go on a tangent. I could go on a tangent for weeks when it comes to women's professional wrestling. It's because I love it. I love where it is now. I really wish this should have been it all along, and I feel like we're taking 2 steps back. So hopefully, within the next couple of months or so, we'll get it jump started. But see, I really don't want to see Alexa Bliss drop that title right now. I just don't think it's the smart play, but I think it might be coming by SummerSlam. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Hardys. We're starting to see a little bit more of the broken universe, and I'm absolutely loving it. It seems every week we're gaining a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and I feel like they might actually pull the trigger at SummerSlam fully on it. So I was talking to Goose earlier about the upcoming pay-per-views, specifically Survivor Series, and I was thinking that parties become broken, and the Bullet Club actually becomes the Bullet Club, and the Shield actually becomes the Shield, because it feels like these elements are starting to fall into place, and we got the Miz Taraj. I'm wondering if we're gearing towards a Survivor Series with these types of factions. And I think that it would be awesome, but I think that it would be awesome if we did this in a war games kind of style. And I know I've been saying this like 2 years in a row on here that we need war games, we need war games. And I thought last year we were actually going to get war games, but I think that now is the time to pull the trigger on war games. If you want something new that most of your current audience has not been subject to, I think bringing back war games into WWE would be the right thing to do. You get the three-sided ring, or not the three-sided ring, but you get the three rings stacked up next to each other. You got the 16 team or 16 people um, amongst the three rings. I think that it would be absolutely amazing. I really do, and I'm hoping that they go that route. I know that they probably won't, but war games would be pretty awesome. So I'm hoping that with all these factions that are coming to be, that they will survive past SummerSlam, and something good will come of that. But we will definitely see. So I think the biggest news on Raw was the whole Kurt Angle issue. And if you're in the chat right now, please feel free to air your opinions and your feelings when it comes to this, because I know that everyone has had mixed reactions when it was coming to this. So just to recap, you know, the last month or so, involved in a program where he was being told that some information was going to leak that would possibly ruin his career. And in the last couple of weeks in particular, I think it's really gotten the majority of our attention. And we've been kind of invested in, you know, finding out what this is, especially after the WWE did a great job at, you know, throwing some hints here and there, such as 24-hour special by Angle. If you guys haven't seen that, please log onto the network. That is definitely it's amazing. But we saw Dixie Carter there, you know, giving props, and I've got something else. We've got Dixie Carter there, you know, giving props to Kurt Angle and his progress, you know, and talking about some of the trials and tribulations that he has gone through while he was at the TNA promotion. So I think most of us were thinking that, you know, one or two things were going to happen, both of which were pretty far-fetched, but even so, I think you could have actually made it work. But, you know, one was that Dixie Carter and Dixie Carter and Kurt Angle may have had, you know, relations. So that was one thing, and someone was going to make it public. Or two, we were going to have uh, another storyline involving Stephanie McMahon and being involved with a superstar, which would have been Kurt Angle. Which I thought that one was a little bit far, but I think that had they gone that route, it would have set up a Kurt Angle versus Triple H. But I think that would have been too soon of a program to start for SummerSlam. I think many people were predicting that. So, but I can say collectively, we were all flabbergasted. We were all in shock when he announced that it was going to be an illegitimate child that he had no idea about, one that was given up for adoption and was all American. So at this point, when they announced that, or when he had announced that, we were like, oh crap, maybe it could be Chad Gable coming to Raw as the illegitimate son of Kurt Angle. Shock, that was not even the case. And Stephen Dash, thank you so much for being for coming into the chat live on YouTube. And you guys, if you're listening to this on the podcast, we're live on Thursdays at YouTube. Just search for It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Steven Thatch was saying that if they're setting up for Kurt's first opponent, I think that they picked a great one. Imagine that the match and with Kurt and with Angle letting him go over, a star will be born. So I thought that, we thought it was going to be Chad Gable at that point, but we were totally, at least I speak for myself, I guess. I was totally shocked that they actually did the Jason Jordan piece of it. It's one, like, I get it. Jason Jordan is, he doesn't really have a gimmick. He's the hot tag guy, as Goose would say, that he comes in after Chad has already done the work and then has been beaten down. He's the hot tag guy. That's how he was in NXT, and that's how he was on the SmackDown roster. But this does give him an opportunity to shine, and under the tutelage of Kurt Angle. So I think that I'm enthusiastic and eager to see, and whether or not this ends up in him turning heel against Kurt Angle at some point. But maybe they tag team together and they go after the titles, the tag titles, and win it. And then maybe when they lose it, then that's when he turns on them, and then they have a program together. So, the jury's still out on that one, on how that will go. But yes, Jason Jordan is the big secret. He is Kurt Angle's son. So take it for what it's worth. But yeah, we would love to know how you guys feel about it. Hit us up, use that hashtag IRWP. Or you can call the hotline 419-777-IRWP and leave a message. Let us know what you guys feel about it. We'll definitely put that on next week's podcast. But with that being said, Renee Young did do an interview afterwards. Wasn't really much to really tune into, but it's for what it is. We'll see how this goes on, and hopefully, hopefully it makes for a good storyline. Raw needs an injection of something, and hopefully this will be it. So, and then before we go into what happened at the very end, I do want to say that one of my ideas for the War Games thing was that maybe that Dixie Carter, and again, this was playing in the fact if Dixie Carter was indeed the surprise, that maybe she comes in and she tries to orchestrate a takeover by saying that, hey, the show is only popular now because you're using my talent, and all of my talent guys are the ones either holding the belt or on the main card. You've got AJ Styles, you've got Samoa Joe, you've got Bobby Roode, you've got Sanity, or specifically Eric Young. These are all my guys. They're here. They're taking over. We're taking over. Got it. Let's do War Games. Let's go. That was my idea. That's what I want to see. I know it sounds crazy. I mean, I really know it sounds crazy, but I was expecting that it would have manifested into something like that, but instead, a program for Jason Jordan. So I will be interested to see what Chad Gable does. He did cut an interview, and it seemed to be rushed and put together. I hope Chad Gable is great, and I just hope they don't leave him in the dark. So creative, you guys need to step up. That's all I got to say about that. So, and then the last thing, the main event just basically solidified that we're going to get a four-way match. Man, just wreck shop at the very end. So it looks like at SummerSlam we're going to have Brock Lesnar defending his title against the big dog, then doing it against the Joe, and then doing it against the Braun Strowman. So definitely interested to see where that actually goes. But with that being said, SmackDown, SmackDown wasn't really a great go-home show this week. It really wasn't. They started the program out with a Punjabi prison preview, And the main thing that I have on my mind, or question I have on my mind, and Goose and I were talking about this morning as well, is that the camera angles are going to be to be able to see what's going on in that thing. I'm hoping that they have in each layer an actual camera person stationed in there, because the hard camera just does not pick up a good angle in terms of the action that's going on in there. And also, if they make use of the aerial shot, the aerial view, I think that that might actually be pretty good. I think that that will help the people who are watching it. The people who are they're going to be there, yeah, y'all are screwed. So sorry about that. You should give you guys a discount on that because it's not gonna be good. But I'll discuss who I think is gonna win that. But at least it gives you an idea and a feel of what it looks like and how it's going to work. I still think the Maharaja's entrance is just flipping amazing. Definitely not gonna mark out when it comes to that, at least not yet. So um the Breezango, they did their stick with the Fashion Files, doing a play off of I think it was the X Files. It was pretty good. The thing that bothers me about this is that I thought that their opponent at Battleground was actually going to be American Alpha, but now I don't know how exactly that's going to be with Jason Jordan now on Raw. I'm wondering though if they're going to make the Ascension, they're going to double back and use the Ascension, which if they do that, it's going to be terrible. I think this is an opportunity to bring somebody up from NXT and pair them with Jason or Chad Gable and say that, hey, we did it. But then again, the storyline will be kind of messed up and not. I don't know. I think that they just screwed up that whole program. I really feel, and to go back to it, I really feel that the Jason Jordan wasn't plan A. I think it was probably plan C or plan D, but something had to pull the trigger on. They had to pull the trigger on that. So, um, thank you, baby. Daughter giving me Pop Tarts. I love her. Because you guys, okay. Thank you, baby. Fatherhood. That's that's what I gotta look forward to. Anyhow, yeah. So they're screwed. I I don't know. Plan better for these things. That's all I got to say about that. You guys got to plan better for these things. Um, New Day had a match with Jimmy and Jay Uso, or as Tom Phillips would say, Jimmy Uso just did a nice cross body block on Kofi Kingston, and Jay Uso just did a nice block on Kingston. Come on, Tom Phillips, you got to know who's fighting who, man. It was a one-on-one match, man. You got to pick a guy and just stick with it. It was Jimmy Uso. It wasn't Jey Uso. You said it like interchangeably like 3 or 4 times, man. And I would have been okay with that. It had somebody else on the commentary team corrected you, but of course that didn't happen. So I wonder if anyone really caught that piece. Probably not. But that was actually a pretty entertaining match. I like that spot where we'll see where that goes when we get to the predictions. So I don't want to get too far into that. And then lastly, but not leastly, I do want to talk about the women's division. Um, I am still perplexed on what they're doing between Lana and Tamina, but I will say that I am intrigued about what exactly it is that that's going to happen, or what that's going to lead to in the very end. And I'm wondering if they are going to position Lana to take the belt off of Naomi, and then Tamina plays the family card against Tamina or against Naomi. I wonder if they go that route. I know that they probably won't, but I feel like although I want Tamina to hold the title, I feel like it makes more sense for her to hold the title. I think that she's trying to play the bodyguard role against Lana. So we'll see how that goes. But again, you guys let me know what you guys think. Do you think that, or what do you think specifically about what this Tamina Lana relationship is going to manifest to? Do you think it will ultimately lead to Tamina holding the belt, not holding the belt? What do you guys think? Hashtag IRWP on any social platform. Give us a call, 419-777-IRWP. Let us know what you guys think, what you guys feel. And then the main event. Don't want to go into too much, but the heels won that match. So AJ Styles and Shinsuke took an L. I, I, I don't know. I think there's just more tease for AJ and Shinsuke, and I still think it's way too early to put those two anywhere near a title match. I think you need to save that for WrestleMania. Maybe start it at the Royal Rumble by one eliminating the other, and then let it just kind of manifest to WrestleMania. I think that's the smart play to go. But we'll is so. All right, guys. Again, before we start getting into this predictions and figuring out who's going where, please, again, if you're listening to this live, to the audio podcast, please, 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 iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, find It's Real Wrestling Podcast and hit that subscription button, and then share that with the hashtag IRWP so that way we can give you guys some kudos. I did want to congratulate Goose on helping make this podcast great. It's because of his efforts that we have superseded our goal. We've got 1,200 downloads, less than 1 year, for just two guys doing this as a hobby and for fun. I just want to thank him personally for that. Couldn't have done it without him. And thank you. So with that being said, and in lieu of that, I did want to, and thank you guys. I should say thank you guys, right? I shouldn't be selfish like that, because it's because you guys listen that we are where we are, and I'm pretty sure you guys are in that as well. So I wanted to extend a little bit of a contest going forward. And if you are listening to this live, I'll just share it with you guys too. I won't be like that. I was gonna make you guys go and subscribe to the audio podcast to do it, but seeing as though that's only a couple of you guys here, I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. So I'm going to run a contest between now and October 28th, which I think is the release of 2K18. So what we're going to do is we're going to give 3 giveaways for the pre-orders for it. And it's very simple. Don't have to purchase anything. Don't have to be a Patreon donor, although it would be nice. Go there. Patreon.com/IRWP, or just visit our website. A little subliminal message there. But no, this is what I want you guys to do. Okay. If you are just browsing around and just happen to hear this, all you got to do is subscribe to IRWP. Take a screenshot that you're subscribed to IRWP and post that on any social media platform with the hashtag IRWP. So if you're Twitter, upload hashtag IRWP. If you're on Patreon, Patreon, hashtag IRWP. If you're on Twitter, did I say Twitter already? I probably already said Twitter already, but I'm going to say it again. If you're on Twitter, hashtag IRWP with your screenshot showing that you are subscribed. If you're on Instagram, post that to your Instagram with the hashtag IRWP, and we will put you as, and we will do the drawings of August, the last week of September, and on the day of the release of 2K18 WWE. Okay? Again, very, very simple. Subscribe on any one of the platforms, whether it's Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes. Hit that subscribe button and use the hashtag IRWP, and we'll put you in the entry for one of the 3 drawings for 2K18 WWE. And I got to say, that Kurt Angle promo was amazing for that game. It actually makes me want to go and pick up the game myself, which I'm probably going to do. So, all right. So with that being said, let's get into the predictions for Battleground 2017. Takes place Sunday, April 23rd at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. Philly crowd. That is going to be flipping amazing. So, kickoff show. We've got the milk carton match of Ty Dillinger and Aiden English, and I know that most of us are picking Ty Dillinger to win this one, but for some reason I feel like Aiden English is going to slip a victory on this one here. So, I am going to go with Aiden English. Not going to get too in depth with it myself, only because until they have a meaningful program for Ty Dillinger, I'm not going to be invested in this match. I'm still going to be a loyal supporter of Ty Dillinger, but until they treat him better, creative treats him better, I can't be invested on it. I can't believe that this guy debuted, was one of the biggest pops at the Royal Rumble, and you guys reduce him show to house shows. Like, come on, guys. Let a brother know. I don't know. So, fatal 5-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We got Becky Lynch, we got Charlotte Flair, we got Lana, we got Natalya, and we got Tamina. Like I was saying, guys, I feel as though this is going to. I feel Lana and Tamina, like the championship is going to be revolving around Lana, Tamina, and Naomi. The reason why I say that is because I feel we've seen Becky Lynch, and didn't get the job done in terms of champion. Charlotte, I think that they're waiting for I think they're waiting for someone else. I really think they're waiting for Asuka to come so they can have a Charlotte Flair versus Asuka at WrestleMania. So there's no point in putting the title on her until somewhere around Survivor Series ish, unless Asuka comes after SummerSlam and just wrecks shop and holds the belt until then. So I don't think Charlotte will hold it, but that's just my opinion there. Stephen Thatch, loyal supporter of Charlotte, probably his #1 fan, is picking Charlotte to walk out the #1 contenders match. Says, come on, it's SummerSlam. Yeah, you're right, it is SummerSlam, but I really, again, Stephen, I really think that they're saving Charlotte and Asuka for WrestleMania. It would not make sense to have the belt on her that soon, especially with what's her name? Code of Silence. Oh my goodness, I have her name. Now that Ellsworth isn't there, I'm like severely drawing blanks here. But now with Carmella having the briefcase, I don't think you chance it putting it on Charlotte until after she's cashed in. So it's got to be Lana. I think that they've been priming Lana to take the belt from Naomi, and I think Tamina is going to be the catalyst for that reign. I think that once Lana has it, it'll put Carmella in a position to cash in on Lana at some point, and then we'll have the Charlotte Flair take the belt off of one of those two. That's again, that's my idea, but or what I think. But I'm having Lana official taking the belt or taking the #1 contendership. Next, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is because he has the belt and he's got the briefcase. He is he's prone to take some losses, and I think Shinsuke is going to have his number. Shinsuke is going to walk over, or is going to win this one hands down. Issues there. Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. Oh man, I was probably in the camp of being upset that Sami Zayn has been put in this position to take the F from Mike Kanellis, especially because he's so freaking talented, but they don't seem to showcase him unless he's fighting against Kevin Owens, which I think is a travesty. This guy should have had one of the belts already, whether it was the Intercontinental belt or whether it's the U.S. belt. And for whatever reason that they're not putting it on Sami Zayn is really, really upsetting. I think that that's holding back because you're having other people that should be contending for the heavyweights hold the belt. And it's no slight on AJ Styles. You guys know I'm a AJ Styles fanboy. I have been from day one since he was in WCW and then debuted on WWE before going to TNA. But Sami Zayn needs to be the one that holds the U.S. belt. He should be holding down that mid-card spot, and he's not. So with that being said, creative or Spence, whoever it is, doesn't have any faith in Sami Zayn right now. So until Hunter takes the helm, Mike Kanellis is going over Sami Zayn, and that's that. So what do you guys think? Y'all let me know. Hashtag IRWP. 419-777 IRWP. First title match of the night is the WWE Tag Team Championship, and it's the Usos versus the New Day. I am in the camp that the New Day will be taking the titles off of the Usos. Bother me about the Usos themselves, and yes, they did win the rap battle. For the record, they won the rap battle. But all jokes aside, I think Jay is injured, like not to the point where he can't wrestle, but his wrestling, if you've been watching over the last month or so, his wrestling has been very, very limited. And I think that it would be smart to heal him up before making him have another run. Not being able to use them fully, I think, is hindering the Usos. And I love their gimmick, and I hope they continue to keep their gimmick. I think the New Day is going to hold the titles for a little while, not as long as their previous reign, but I do think that they will come off and win this. So I've got the New Day winning the World SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It's going to be blue, baby! All right, so then we got the John Cena versus Rusev Udria. Machka. Oh, man. I've got Machka winning this one, guys. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think that Rusev to finally get a win. This has been his rival, his been on the roster. The only guy that being that having this as a flag match protects John Cena. That pinfall, but he could use some underhand attack on him, like a rack to the ball, and then go for the title, or not the title, but for the flag. So got Rusev winning this one. I think it's the smarter play. If you're going to send John Cena to SmackDown as well, I'm sorry, you're going to send John Cena to Raw, let Rusev win one out of their five. So next on the list is going to be the U.S. champion. We've got phenomenal one, AJ Styles versus Owens, Fight Owens fight. This one is a little bit of a tough one, guys. Really going either way, right? AJ Styles definitely belongs around the championship, around the title. Or I should say, I really wish it would stay in the contendership around the WWE Championship. I mean, after all, our boy AJ Styles still hasn't gotten his one-on-one opportunity or his one-on-one rematch for the WWE Championship. But the reason I want to go with Kevin Owens is because I feel if AJ wins, it's because Chris Jericho comes back, and there's no signs and no rumors that he will come back, but I feel as though that could be a play that he could come back. The reaction, the ovation would be, and no one would see it coming. Um, I don't know where he is in the scope of things in terms of like where his tour dates falls and lies and things of that nature. But if there's ever a time to put Chris Jericho back in, I think this would be the time. Then you can have Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho to finish their feud at SummerSlam, and then that would be the end of it. So that being said, but I am going to pick AJ Styles to win or to retain the United States Championship. So. Okay. And then last but not least, we've got the Punjabi prison match. And I'm going to talk to my people in my language of Punjabi. Got Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. And I'm still intrigued by this match. I really am. This is actually the first Punjabi prison match that I've actually literally have seen. Um, I thought there was only one prior, but Goose says that there was actually two prior. So I'm gonna have to go back in the records to actually watch it just to see how that actually like how that manifested. But um, I think it makes perfect sense to keep Jinder Mahal on the championship. He's been a phenomenal champion. His entrance is amazing. He's continually getting better in the ring, using different move sets. Last week when he was fighting, one of the things that I absolutely loved that he was using was the actual chop. Like, no, we haven't seen I haven't seen the chop in a long, long time. But just beating somebody down with the solid chop over and over and over again is just like flip. That's awesome. So he's been a great champ, regardless of how you feel about his reign or how you feel about him, or whether you feel like he is juicing or not. Like he's been a phenomenal champion. No pun intended, but he's been a great champion, and I think you continue to reward him at the heat that a heel champion should have. And I think that if you're going to take the title off of him, you're going to take it off of him either at SummerSlam or a couple weeks after. I do not think that Baron Corbin will cash in the Money in the Bank for him. I really still feel like if Baron Corbin is going to cash the Money in the Bank, I think that he should be cashing the Money in the Bank on a Raw title, the Universal title. I don't think that he should be cashing it in on the SmackDown title. But that's just my opinion. But I, again, would love to hear what you guys feel or how you guys think that that's going to go down. And again, you guys can reach us at IRWP.us, at Real WrestleCast on Twitter, or just use the hashtag IRWP. So and that is pretty much it. I mean, that's the battle card, guys. The battlegrounds card, guys. And before I head out and say la vie and get this thing edited and uploaded with that nice new intro music and outro music that Ben Goosen had put together, I do want to give some thanks to people who have continued to support us, and the new followers. So let's get into some shout outs, guys. The shout outs. First and foremost, I want to thank our live listeners, Stephen Thatch and Mel Johnson. Thank you guys so much for continuing week after week coming in here and giving us your opinions, your feedback, and continuing to support the show. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. With that being said, I want to also thank the Devo Bible. You guys continuing to support us on Twitter. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Spinning Back Fist. We had a conversation about Rusev and John Cena, and I believe that they feel like John Cena is going to win that. The flag match. I disagree. I think Rusev's going to do that. Jamie, we got Jamie at Jagnarok. Thank you so much for following us. Welcome to the movement. Be sure to share with your friends who we are. The Fuse Show. They're a podcast, so you guys can check them out at The Fuse Show. It's FEW, Fuse Show. They are also a wrestling podcast. Thank you guys so much for following and subscribing to us. Ray Era Podcast. Thank you so much for following and subscribing to us. And Mikey Cruz. Enjoyed the commentary that it's ridiculous that Vince is written all over the mockery of the brand split. And okay, so he was just basically upset about the Jason Jordan being taken away from SmackDown. He feels like it made a mockery out of the brand split, which I can definitely see that. Definitely see that. And then last but not least, want to go ahead and thank Will Mahoney. Will Mahoney at Heel Will Mahoney. He was not a fan, and I didn't talk about this week, but I will just say a little bit about it. But Talking Smack got canceled. At least the weekly show for Talking Smack got canceled, and many, including myself, are really, really upset that's even a thing. Talking Smack is consistently been great. It's like having a third hour for SmackDown, but more importantly, it gives the talent and ability and opportunity to showcase their talents, to allow them to talk freely off script and try to get themselves over in more contained or more contained area, as opposed to going out on the mic in front of thousands and thousands of people. By taking away that platform, I think you take a step back from it. And he was pointing out that yes, this might be a cost measure thing, but I felt like creative may have pushed for this because it gives them the ability to not have to step up their game, because they're seeing these guys like the Usos getting themselves over, Baron Corbin getting himself over. Heck, The Miz redefined himself on Talking Smack. Themselves couldn't do it. So it's presenting challenges that they themselves don't want to have to deal with. So many, and I probably believe this as well, subscribe to the theory that they pushed it. But we're still going to get it at pay-per-view, so thank goodness for that. But it's still like that's a travesty. So but that's it, guys. That's the show. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. A little less than an hour, but hey, that's okay. I'm your boy, Sage the Mark. Please, guys, go and subscribe to us at Real WrestleCast on Twitter, or just visit our website, IRWP.us, and our social media accounts listed there for you. If you guys like, subscribe, share, get on Patreon, whatever you can do to help us, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for making this passion project with Goose in Mind a success. And I want to leave you guys again. If someone is dealing with depression, or you yourself are dealing with depression, you're not alone. Millions of people suffer from depression. But the important thing is just to know where to go when you're faced with that. So much life to live, guys. If you need help, get the help that you need. Don't be ashamed. Your boy Sage the Mark is here for you as well. So keep it up, guys. Love one another, support one another. guys, just keep it real. Ghosts, I'm coming for you.